Yeah, AJ Styles is the victor here. He pinned John Cena after interference from Karl Anderson and Luke Gallows.
Yeah. This was an awesome match, and for the first time I felt like AJ Styles a little bit cool. A little bit. I saw some attitude.
Oh, you're coming around.
A little bit. I saw some attitude from him, and it was a great match, but the ending kind of deflated it, I felt like. And I don't know what it does really for AJ Styles to have him win that way. I think it's better than him losing to Cena, but I feel like it didn't really do much.
To piggyback off of what you said about AJ Styles being cool, like that honestly was the highlight of the match for me. Not even necessarily the movements that AJ had or the moves or anything like that. Of course, that's great, but the attitude that he displayed. We've been talking about on the show.
Yeah.
I think it was Lucas. He was in Cass. They weren't buying into the shit that AJ was saying when he was like, well, if I was in WWE 15 years ago and if the powers that be didn't keep me away from this company, I would have had your spot, and all of your accomplishments, I would have had them. I don't think that it's necessary for anybody to believe AJ when he says that, except for AJ to believe it. And that was the cool thing about this match, because I looked at AJ and the attitude that he displayed, every single movement that he had in this ring. It's like he had a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah,
and
that's
he was
how
wrestling
I felt
in that
too.
match like, damn it, this is 15 years of frustration, and I'm going to beat it out of your ass.
This
like,
is the
I
first...
know I'm better than you. I know everything that you have. I deserve it. This is all supposed to be mine. And you could see him move with that on his mind. And that is a sign of a phenomenal wrestler, a sign of a phenomenal performer overall, because you're bringing in the acting in, making me believe what you're doing based off of your movements and your, like, the swagger that he had. It was
every time he ducked those punches, I thought it was awesome. Like, he just, I felt like he, for the first time, I felt he's actually like this tremendous wrestler. Because this is the first AJ Styles match that I was actually impressed by. Not because the rest of them were bad, because, I mean, he's always good, but I just felt like, yeah, whatever, he's flippy. But this one, I felt like he did, like, everything had intention and purpose behind it, like you were saying. And it just felt like he was a really, like, he was a master wrestler, because he knew everything Cena was going to do. Like, every move he did, he dodged it, like, 2 seconds before it happened. The dodging the punches, I thought particularly were awesome. Like, it just, he would dodge like pretty much every single one, and then he would hit him.
I really liked when Cena went for the shoulder tackle, and then he went for the second one, and Styles hit him with a dropkick. I thought that was awesome.
And that, what you just said there, Steven, that adds another layer to this match, because I didn't even really consider that. But it, like, going into the story, it's like AJ was preparing for this for a very long time. Like, he studied John Cena and just was like, everything that John Cena threw his way, he had an answer to it. And that's one of the big reasons why I can't accept the way that this match ended.
Yeah. Now that we're talking about it like that, I'm getting more upset at the ending. This is, like I said, this is the first match where I thought, like, he lived up to the phenomenal tagline, because other than that, while I think he's good, he just seems like another flippy guy to me. Like, I mean, same level as Ziggler or someone like that. Yeah, they're good, but what are they going to do for me? But the attitude that he showed here as a character really impressed me.
Well, he had one good moment with some non-mic work when he said, "Oh, is that all he's got?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh man!" Like, that attitude was he was very cocky, and that's why the heel AJ Styles is better than the face AJ Styles.
And you guys know I love me some non-mic work.
Oh, exactly, and you can't help but love that type of stuff. And you know what else I kind of noticed in this match? It almost felt like they were subtly telling us that John Cena was kind of rusty. They didn't. I didn't notice the commentators really say those words, but it was clear from what I was seeing. I could see that he was looking kind of older. He was looking a little more gassed, and maybe that's just because he actually was. But I think that was part of the story too, was that he couldn't quite keep up with the quickness of AJ throughout the earlier stages of the match. And I thought that was really cool. I really was, like, nodding my head during it. I'm like, man, I really like this. I like that they're actually making it look like Cena is mortal and that this guy might just have his number. Like, I noticed a couple of times when AJ, like, slid back into the ring and was kind of like, come on, like, bring it on. And Cena would just kind of have that look of, like, what do I have to do with this guy? He's different from anything.
God, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, and so that storytelling piece was really cool to me. So I think that is partly why I enjoyed the match as much as I did. That's, not even talking about the finish, but the match was very, very good. It lived up to the hype, 100% in my opinion. 100% lived up to the hype.
Here's the thing when it comes to the ending. There was someone on Twitter, a few people actually, they basically acknowledged the fact that, okay, well, if AJ was going to win, this is the only way that he was going to win. So it's like they're accepting it just because AJ won, even though it came under very questionable circumstances. I'm going to say this. If that was the only way that AJ could have won that match, I didn't want to see him win. Like, I honestly was thinking, before the Bullet Club ran out, I would have loved to see John Cena win in some kind of unscrupulous way. Because I think that would have played into the story of the match. Because
what if
you have this competitor.
Cena beat him clean? Would you have preferred that? So, like, on the hierarchy of our alternatives, like, the preferred one is AJ beating him clean, but if that's not going to happen, then you'll take Cena beating him unclean and then AJ
honestly,
beating him.
I would put John Cena, like, somehow cheating to win over AJ Styles getting the clean win.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I really would have wanted to see that because it, like, I know some people out there may be like, what the hell is he even talking about? But if you look at the story of the match, it flows right into John Cena using some kind of unscrupulous method to best AJ, because AJ, he came in prepared. He knew John Cena. He knew what John Cena was capable of. He knew what John Cena was about. And he had an answer, like I said, for everything that John Cena did. If John Cena would have pulled it out of his bag, like, okay, well, shit, I'm desperate, and just like Evan was talking about, he had this, like, deer in the headlights look, like, what the hell is going on here? If John Cena, in that moment of desperation, was like, look, this guy has challenged me in my reign on the top of WWE, I'll be damned if I let him come into my company and defeat me in my ring, and he used some kind of method to, like, cheat or something to win, I would have liked that.
That would have been
definitely
an amazing story
from
element.
What we got.
That's an amazing story element, too, if John Cena actually had to use a tactic he never would in order to beat Styles, because that would mean, in my opinion, that, oh, wow, now it really adds to an element to this, because now all of a sudden it's like AJ Styles has your number, and they haven't really told that story. They hinted at it with Kevin Owens last year because he beat him squeaky clean in the first match that they had, but obviously then what happened happened. Squeaky clean. It was freaking amazing. It still is. Now, I wish AJ Styles had some of that squeakiness tonight.
Yeah, that's why I don't really buy what the tweet that you read, where it's like, the AJ Styles couldn't have won clean. It's like, well, I don't know. Owens did it.
Yeah.
Alberto Del Rio did it for
God.
some reason with
That's
a
right.
kick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what?
Terrible.
If Del Rio can do it, I mean, why not AJ? So,
Yeah.
I think it would have really been awesome if you could have gotten the clean win, because then it'd say, look, I just beat you without the club. I mean, they really, I think on one hand they want to push AJ, but they're not really going all the way. I think it's kind of not helping. But
And the shitty part about the way that the match ended is that AJ can't go out there and tell that story that I ran circles around you. Well, technically he can tell that story, but John Cena has a very easy retort. You may have ran circles around me, but I had you beat. And your guys, they come in, and that's the reason why you won the match.
Yeah, that's what I hate. To me, it just felt so cliche, and that's the word that I used when I posted a tweet about it. It just felt like a cliche, very cookie-cutter type of heel win.
Yeah.
Where they came in, they interfered, they threw him on top of Cena, and he won. I actually thought Cena was going to kick out because there was a delay with the ref, and I actually wish he did kick out, and then if Styles was going to win, it would have been kind of like Rollins' win, which was, like, shiny, you know, but... You know what, though? Like, for me, if AJ was going to need to use a tactic to win, I wish it was him who used the tactic. Because then Cena could have come out the night after. I'm thinking booking perspective. Cena comes out the night after, says, hey, you know, you couldn't beat me straight up, blah, blah. And then AJ Styles comes out and says, you know what? I signed that contract and said it was only going to be me, and it only was me. I lived up to my word. I just won in a different way than from what you're used to. I do whatever I need to do to win a match. That would have been a good retort on AJ Styles' part, and also plants the seed for a second match between the two guys without involving the club. So if the club's going to get involved, they'll get involved in the second match. So the first match, they legit didn't get involved, and Styles wins the match. Even if it is dirty, I would have rather just been on his own rather than with the help of the other two. Although he did say they were his insurance policy, but the contract signing, I wish they stuck to the contract, and then AJ was like, hey, I can still do this without them. You know?
Yeah, it's weird. Like, the contrast...
And of course, he could easily go out there and say, oh, well, I didn't have anything to do with that. They just ran out. But, I mean, that means nothing.
The contrast between the match and the ending is so stark. Like, it feels like
That's
the match
the big problem for me.
The match
Yes.
was something special, not just from a wrestling point of view, because there are a lot of special wrestling matches, but just from a storytelling point of view, for all the reasons that we just discussed with AJ and Cena, it was something special. But then the ending was just something cliche, so that's a problem.
Yeah, if this was the only way to get AJ a win, it wasn't worth it. Wasn't worth it at all. Like, I know you have a lot of people there. They're happy about the fact that he got the win, but there were so many other elements that could have been explored with the way in which that match ended that I think that they would have worked better for the story and for AJ Styles as a whole. I guess we'll see what happens with this, but yeah, right now I'm thinking that it wasn't worth it at all.